It is the 10th of the 1st, 2014. This is your radioactive reality. Let's get started on ENA News. Professor's diary, Fukushima radioactive material has reached the west coast as of June 2013 by ocean transport. Health risks to be determined by ongoing monitoring. The boys at ENA just tearing this guy apart. His numbers are all wrong and he's tweaked them, and there's something really fishy going on with this story. Interesting read for sure. Be sure to read the comments below. NRC comments on steam at Fukushima unit number 3. Gunderson, plutonium could be causing fission, heating up melted fuel. Oh, I thought this was cold shutdown already. Isn't it officially a cold shutdown? ABC in Fukushima, radiation to be a U.S. coast early this year. It's already here. Expert concerned about effects on food chain from unprecedented amount of migration radioactivity. They tried to stop the leaks. It's just not working. And you got to remember, 1,036 days now, ongoing continuous release out of Fukushima Daiichi. TEPCO, quote, "We don't know what's gone into the ocean." And how can they know completely for sure? Especially with the Yakuza in charge of the cleanup. Arnie Gunderson, "I am now not eating Pacific Ocean fish like you were last week." Huh, Arnie? Bioaccumulation of Fukushima nuclear waste concerning. Efforts of lower level radiation worse than predicted. And as you go up the food chain, the dose gets higher. Who sits on top, folks? Who sits on top? Enjoy your seafood. Pacific Wasteland, question mark. Japan government scientists, big problem for whole ocean of Fukushima water released with strontium-90. TV, it may not get filtered out. All bets are off. Without way to plug plant leaks. Are you going to plug 3 melted through containment coriums leaching into the environment? And you got to remember, they don't stick in these great big blobs. It branches out like tree roots. Why are they finding hot spots here and there? I wonder. NHK all documentation systems stopped working. All decontamination systems stopped working, may not restart for a very long time. And they're going on about how they're going to filter out these water. And I'll get into that in a moment. Fukushima plant, an undiffused bomb for decades to come. Japan journalists, they only have the vaguest idea of what happened to hundreds of tons of molten fuel. Hundreds of tons. An ongoing crisis on the edge of disaster. We're just getting started, folks. We got millions of years to go. Multiple marine scientists say Fukushima plume is at West Coast. San Francisco Chronicle reports quote, radiation levels from Fukushima on California coast have gone down. The insanity continues. Time will tell. Time will tell. And what Chernobyl has taught us is now, in the next coming couple of years, is when the cancer rates and the disease rates, these strange disease that pop up after Chernobyl, really start to take off. The 3 to 5 year mark. New journal article, Fukushima may have already released 90 quadrillion becquerels of cesium-137, much more than Chernobyl's 70 quadrillion becquerels. 90 is probably way low on the scale. Got to remember, it doesn't stop. It hasn't stopped. And it won't stop. NPR and California Department of Public Health appear on document with nuclear-related U.S. entities working together with TEPCO to disseminate Fukushima-related information. Don't worry, folks, they got it all under control. Trust your glorious leaders and their mafia cleanup crews to do everything properly so you may enjoy your football safely. California Department of Health West Coast will get no radioactive contamination from Fukushima. People should be arrested. It is so criminal. Radiation expert, it's terrifying how Pacific ecosystem has collapsed since Fukushima. Plutonium and uranium suspected of spreading through food chain. Where else is it going to go? Oh, it just disperses. Don't worry, folks. That Pacific Ocean will disperse it. It's like eating bananas. Have a couple bananas and you'll get your daily dosage. Hotspots at 1,400% baseline radiation levels on San Francisco area coast. State, it's naturally occurring minerals, not radioactivity associated with Fukushima. Expert, don't let babies or kids inhale or eat the sand. So now these naturally occurring radioactive isotopes are at such high levels on the San Francisco beach, where they're saying, there used to be oil pipelines here, and they collect highly densitive radioactive material in the oil pipelines. Oh, there was an old radar station here back in World War II, and no telling what the government left behind on this beach, blah, blah, blah. The insanity continues, yet here we are. Agency, dead conjoined baby gray whales found on west coast of North America. Could be the first ever recorded. 2 heads and 2 tails joined in the middle. Photos and videos galore all across the internet. Sad indeed sight, a sad sight. And just think, we have Godzilla to look forward to. CBS health officials are investigating radiation levels along coast near San Francisco after finding higher than typical reading. U.S. Berkeley professor, absolutely no correlation with nuclear disaster, compares eating banana to drinking water from Fukushima plant. Completely different isotopes. One's natural, the other one's weaponized. Weaponized. Anyway, secrecy agreement between Fukushima and IAEA revealed by Tokyo newspaper. They hid the health effects in Chernobyl. Same thing could happen to Fukushima. Over to Simply Info, the new website. I'll provide a link, of course. More cesium-137 found in gourmet and organic European jam brands. Have some cesium-137 with your toast. More people assume that organic jam, or even better yet, European gourmet organic jam would be a good option for quality and safety. Chernobyl says no. In some respects it appears to be true, but in many of these high-cost European jams have unexpected surprise. Cesium-137, Chernobyl still giving gifts decades and decades later. Polar vortex takes out Fort Calhoun nuclear power plant. You can remember Fort Calhoun's the nuclear power plant just north of Omaha, on the Missouri River, on the Oklahoma side. Shut down because of all those floods, and they had to pick the big Inflato Dam to save the damn thing a couple years ago. They just refired it a couple weeks ago, had to shut it down because the ice in the intakes created a situation where they could not fully close the sluice gates, again, forcing them to shut it down. The NRA Japan saves the U.S. West Coast and the rest of the world. Nuclear Regulatory Authority of Japan demanded that TEPCO drop test waste containers to be used to hold highly radioactive sludge from the ALPS processing system. You know, the system they just can't seem to get working properly. What are they doing with all this sludge? Well, apparently they did some drop tests on these containers. Looked like cardboard with steel bands and some plastic bags, and of course they broke open when falling and pressured through. What are they doing with all this nuclear waste coming out of Fukushima in a solid form, well, let alone the water they're releasing directly into the Pacific? The insanity continues. TEPCO reinstalls Unit 1 webcam at Fukushima Daiichi, but they're pointed up into the sky. You don't really get to see what's going on in and around the buildings. Thanks. Over to Informable. Jamaica reveals information about contamination on used cars from Japan. In November 2012, a minibus imported from Japan by a used car dealer in Jamaica was scanned and found to have radiation levels which required it to be moved into quarantine area. They're finding these in parts and all kinds of things coming out of Japan, saying that the safety standards are a little lax on the Japanese side, let alone, well, just to say the Jamaicans sent it back to Japan. They don't want it. Just as much as the Russians are doing. Imagine how many goods are getting into the United States and into a used car dealership or a Walmart near you. And that's about all I have today. Of course, if I missed anything, please let me know. Attach your comment or send me a message. Enjoy while you can, everybody. Thanks.